Live with Dad with a phone. It's a beautiful day in Colorado. Sunny outside. I should be fishing right now. Last night I got a lot of messages last night. I probably have 100 messages just from this morning from people that I simply posted a redacted letter sent out by Patrick Frazee. I have the original letter. The original letter was sent to multiple people, friends of Patrick Frazee, and it references a couple of people in the letter. And then you can start one. I'll drink some more for sure. The original letter references a couple of people that you can contact if you want to help support and get Patrick Frazee's story. It really, and people's names. I'm going to read the letter real quick. I'm going to read the letter to you just so we can kind of be on the same page. This is a typed letter that is signed by Patrick Frazee. And a lot of people have been saying, oh, well, most of the letters we get from prison or most of the letters we get from inmates are not typed. They're handwritten. And the only thing I can gather is that inside the prison system, I know that they can email to people and I know that they may have access to typewriters. I don't know for sure, but I can tell you Patrick Frazee doesn't have good handwriting. Like his handwriting sucks. I have seen his handwriting samples. I have seen his handwriting on a big projector. Patrick Frazee's handwriting sucks. So maybe he had a lawyer type this letter up for him and he just signed it. But I can tell you 100% I have spoken with at least 2 people that are mentioned in the letter, and the letter is 100% authentic. If you doubt the authenticity of the letter, you can actually write Patrick Frazee himself. He gives you the address in the letter. That's a real address. That's his real DOC number. And if you write that address, your letter will get to Patrick Frazee. Because of federal law, prisoners, as long as your letter doesn't threaten escape or contraband or doesn't threaten in any way anyone, your letter and your thoughts, you can send them directly to Patrick Frazee. Now, whether or not he'll respond, like I said, he's got terrible handwriting, and I doubt he'll respond to you. But that's his address. I'm going to pull this letter up and read this letter to you. And I have, like I said, I have the full letter unredacted that was sent to me. Now, I'm going to give a kind of a chain of command of where this letter came from, because people are like, well, did you get this letter? No, Patrick did not send Dad with the phone a letter. As a matter of fact, some of the people in this letter have been trying to figure out who leaked the letter. The reporter, I want to tell you this, the reporter who is mentioned in this letter says they did not give Patrick Frazee permission to give out their contact info. They were rather upset with me when I was just as a courtesy trying to show them, hey, Patrick's sending out letters with your name on it. Are you helping Patrick Frazee? They confirmed that they had been speaking with Patrick Frazee, and then they would go on, and this is this pisses off the traditional media. And you know what? The archaic traditional media can just get pissed off at Dad with the phone. They're mad because they tell me it's their job. They're doing their job. They're trying to get a story from Patrick Frazee. They're doing their job. And I'm like, well, cool. And they're like, they didn't want me to talk about this letter. They were mad that I posted this letter. And I'm like, hey, this is my blog. I talk true crime. I followed this case from start to finish. It's not my job. It's kind of like a little passion, right? This true crime stuff is kind of like a passion. And so they're going to be upset with me that I'm even speaking of this. They're mad because they're like, well, I would really appreciate not anything being said before I do my story. You can still do your story. Just know that I scooped it. It's okay. It's okay to get scooped by a dad with the phone. Remember, nobody cares anywhere. Wait, but they were very obvious to say, please don't tell the world. Please don't tell the world. But see, that's exactly the thing. Dad with the phone reaches the world. Your little organization with a couple of letters that comes on the TV is no longer the only source. So there's a lot of stuff in this letter and a lot of implications in this letter that are just underlining. And then when you start digging at the people that are mentioned, and when you start talking to the people that are mentioned in this letter, you realize, oh, there's a group of people that think Patrick Frazee is innocent. They think he's innocent. I mean, forget the fact that, like, he still speaks of Kelsey like she's just disappeared. That isn't the case, folks. That isn't what happened down the street from me. That isn't what happened on Thanksgiving Day 2018. That's not what went down. A woman was murdered, beat to death. And now this guy is writing letters to his sympathizers, to his friends, to anyone. He is grasping for straws because he now finds himself where he will spend the rest of his life in a prison cell plus 156 years. Let's read this letter. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I am reaching out. Okay, it says, dear friends, I am reaching out to all of you and asking you for help. I need anyone that is willing to speak out on my behalf. First and foremost, I did not kill Kelsey, nor did I have anything to do whatsoever with her disappearance. I am an innocent man that has been wrongfully accused of crimes. Excuse me, you have not been wrongfully accused. You have been convicted of crimes. But he says, I've been wrongfully accused that of crimes I did not commit. If any of you are out there, have any doubt at all, I ask you to please step back and take a good, solid look at the facts in relationship to the story that is presented. Things do not line up. Still to date, Kelsey is missing, and the truth is yet to be found. Our daughter, Kelsey's family, my family, and everyone else affected deserve to know what really happened. If you care to see what I see about all of this, please call my friend blank at blank or blank at blank. They can point out each and everything that I have pointed out to them. The fabricated story couldn't be any further from the truth. If you care to voice what I have pointed out and then take a few minutes to reach out, please call blank a reporter at blank. Strength is in numbers, and I am asking for your help. If any of you would like to contact me directly, please write me at Patrick Frazee, AVCF 2-A 187025. The address is 12750 Highway 96, Lane 13, Ordway, Colorado 81034. So I have contacted, or actually, let me put it this way. One of the people who is mentioned in the letter wrote me a message this morning. Oh, actually, two people. Well, first of all, I twittered the reporter. I twittered the reporter a copy of the letter and had a discussion with them. Then this morning, through an entirely different scenario, really, one of the people contacted me and we had a little bit of an exchange via messages. I asked them, I said, would you do an interview or a call with me and give us your side of the story? They said not at this time, which means maybe in the future they will speak out on behalf of Patrick Frazee. I have a feeling that they will. Here's the deal. I don't think Patrick's innocent at all. Not one bit. I was there, remember? I sat through this in real life, and it happened down the street from me. So for people to say, is there some questions surrounding what happened? Do I believe the story that was told by KK? Not entirely. I'm not telling you that I believe that the story that KK told is entirely truthful. I actually believe she had a hand in what happened. Like, I actually believe KK was involved with Patrick in this thing. There's two things that happened. Either it went down the way it went down, or it went down a different version. But it's still, I do not believe Patrick is innocent in this. Now, he may think he's innocent in his own mind. He may have convinced his own brain that he's innocent. He may have told a lie so many times that he believes it to be true, and there's nothing that could. He may have blocked out the fact that he did something to Kelsey. He may have there may be a lot of reasoning behind why Patrick thinks, says, does, or did whatever he did. There could be, hey, Ella, there could be a lot of things that could be going on that was in conjunction with KK. A lot of things could have happened with KK that KK tried to point out to just be Patrick. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying that they got everybody involved in this murder. There's no way Patrick's innocent. I mean, there's 100 little things that besides KK's story that point to Patrick. Patrick had 3 girlfriends. Patrick had told multiple people he knows how to make a body disappear. People who actually liked Patrick had to get up and testify against Patrick. People who called Patrick friends, people who called him like a son, had to get up and testify against him. His own brother testified against him in court. His mother said she would testify if she could if she could get immunity. His own mother needs immunity from something that happened. So is there more to the story? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I can't wait for this reporter to release their story. They have been talking with Patrick. That's awesome. There's a reporter out there right now freaking out. The dad with the phone is talking about this because they feel like it's going to ruin their story. No, it's not. You should release your story tomorrow. You should release your story next. My wife was like, you should text them and tell them to stay up all night and release that story tomorrow before you even do a video. That's what my wife told me to do. So no, people will listen to you. People want to know what Patrick's side of the story is. They want to know. Now, I have a inclination to call one of these people up and ask them, what is Patrick's side of the story? Because Patrick tells me to do that in this letter. Should we do that right now? Should we call one of his friends up and just ask them if they would like to comment on being mentioned in this letter? and what is Patrick's side, because he tells them in this letter that he has pointed out to them everything that is inconsistent. So should we get Patrick's side of the story through one of his friends? Maybe we should call that right now. One of them said they don't want to interview right now. The other one I haven't contacted, but I'm, you know, if Patrick can put their phone number on a letter and tell people to contact them, let's contact them. Are y'all in here?
Patrick knew what he was doing. It ain't no surprise.
That's my wife commenting from the peanut gallery.
Did you get the other one, babe? Okay.
Let me get this number here.
It's just funny someone would get offended, you know?
Those are Matt?
Yeah.
Those Big Matt?
I'm trying to get this number, but I didn't write it down. I wasn't planning to do this, by the way.
Mom, she found it. Isa found it.
We're going to contact these people right now.
Credit card number. I will try to get back with you. Thank you. Have a great day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, I'm contacting you about a letter that apparently was written by Patrick Frazee that mentions you in the letter. He gives your phone number out and he says to contact you to find out kind of his side of the story when it comes to Kelsey Barrett. That's why I'm contacting you. Your message said, give me credit card, social security, and name. That's a pretty funny message, by the way. You can contact me directly at 719-377-0343. That's my phone number. And I would love to speak with you and kind of hear your side of the story when it comes to this letter that Patrick has sent out and kind of his plea for help, and see if I can be any of assistance. Thanks. All right. Well, they didn't answer, but it was a correct number. I muted because I'm not trying to call these people out. Like I said before, the reporter did not give permission to Patrick to put their contact info on the letter or to give their contact info out. They were not happy about Patrick Frazee giving out that contact info. That could be the same thing with these people. So I've already spoken with the other person-ish labeled in this letter, and I don't need to call them to get anything from them because they don't want to talk to me right now anyway. That doesn't mean in the future they won't talk to me. This other person I didn't know, so I figured I would just call them live. So what do you think about this crazy letter Patrick trying to get? Why do you think his motive is? Now, I can tell you that there is an appeals going on right now in the Patrick Frazee case. An appeal has been filed. to the appellate court. What that appeals and the decision on that appeals has been kind of set crazy back because of the COVID-19 stuff, and the court system is all jacked up. I can tell you that Patrick Frazee is probably going to get a lot of mail in the next few days, especially since we have officially released his address on Dad with the Phone, because there probably are some people who want to be Patrick's mistresses. So Patrick probably has a couple of fan pages out there that he just wants to be whatever. He wants some attention. He wants some like Chris Watts attention. He feels that he didn't get the attention he needed. I did mute that because I didn't want to give a... I know the sun has a glare on me, but here's the deal. If I put up a black backdrop, people are like, oh, we don't like it. We like to sit in your living room. And I'm like, well, because people complain about the sun and the glare. You'll get used to it. Don't worry. I do it on purpose sometimes. I don't look so good in the sun today. And so maybe I want the glare behind me to mask my appearance a little bit. You know, sometimes. Please read the letter to this psychopathic journalist again. Okay, let me just say this. The journalist is not a psychopath. The journalist could have been nicer to me. I know who this journalist is. I know them. I don't know them like personally, but we have had conversations before. And it's not, I will tell you who it's not. It's not Sam Kramer, okay? It's not Sam Kramer. If it was Sam Kramer, I would tell you it was Sam Kramer. But the fact that the journalist is somehow helping Patrick, they're doing it as their job, first of all. I understand. It's a story. It's a clickbait story. They're pissed that Dad scooped it. They're pissed that Dad knows who they are doing this story. I haven't told you. You don't know if the journalist is male or female. You don't know if the journalist is someone that has been on my show or not, except that you know it wasn't Sam. So but you know, the one thing is I'm supposed to have a journalist on this week that is not the journalist mentioned in the letter. Hopefully they'll still come on.
Hopefully we're going to do yoga. I love you.
You going to yoga?
We're trying, but you bullcrap COVID stuff. Who knows if we're going to be able to do it or not? So.
Y'all be messing with my wife's yoga. COVID-19. What's up, Ontario, Canada? I knew Sam wouldn't do that. Yeah, Sam ain't trying to defend Patrick Frazee. Sam ain't trying to be all. So just, I definitely wanted to point out that it's not Sam, because I don't want Sam to get that kind of reputation. I can't see what is written, but I also just got a message. Someone logged on a different device. I have my phone laying next to me while I'm working. Oh, I don't know what that means. So Patrick is wanting a pity party because he dropped. That's funny, Shirley. That's funny. Everybody's throwing out names. Ashley, Letter. He needs to think about his daughter. Yeah. Okay. On the flip side, I want to be careful because I feel bad for this person, but the way they went about trying to contact me kind of ticked me off. And because I've had threats made against my family, I didn't take it very easy. I have another case that I've been working on. It's a closed case, and I have released some information and some video from that information. On the flip side, there are there are a lot of people affected by every crime, right? You have the victim of the crime, right? You have the people, and in the Kelsey Barrett, I'm not talking about the Kelsey Barrett case now. Let me be clear. I'm not speaking of the Kelsey Barrett case at this very moment. Last night, someone messaged my sister, who doesn't even live by me. They're not even in the same state of Colorado. Okay. Someone messaged my sister and told my sister how despicable her brother is, and how whatever, went through and told my sister, tried to tell my sister, tells my sister all these untrue things, first of all. But there was some very truth to this. This was a murderer's family. So a murderer's family who has been hurt by their family member, and the actions of their family member is upset with me because I am speaking of what their family member did. Now, I understand they're upset, and I understand the reasoning behind their upset. That murderer has children, and someday that murderer's children are going to read and watch things that I have said, videos that I have done, and see what their family members have done. But those people are now contacting my family, trying to shame me, threaten me. I'm not 100% sure their intentions in trying to reach out and contact my family. But I can tell you this, if you need to contact me, if you're a victim or you're a family member of a murderer I have spoken to, my phone number is on the page. It doesn't take long to get a hold of Dad with a phone. Message me via Facebook, message me via YouTube, message me via text message. My phone number is posted online. And so, but when you contact my family, I mean, I've had people threaten my family. I have people call and tell me that they are going to rape my wife and murder my children. I've had those phone conversations. People have contacted my family before and said that I was molesting my children. So when you contact my family out of whatever shame, spite, hurtfulness you want to get back at me, and you think it scares me? No. It means I pushed a button that maybe I need to push more of. Because there are some unsolved cases that I'm looking into. And people are like, why are you bringing up these decade-long old cases? And I'm like, because these decade-long old cases have yet to be unsolved. So if you know something that we don't know, please come forward. Please come forward. But if you want to contact my family, if you think that's going to hurt me, go for it. The first thing my sisters, my parents, my family's going to do is they're going to send me a message and say, who are these whack jobs? All right. So that was something else that happened. This is the world of true crime. And I know a lot of people are like, no one should ever go real life from social media. I want you to understand that I'm not even upset that people are upset about what I've said. If you're not upset about something Dad with the phone has said, then there's something wrong with you, because we're talking about murder. We're talking about people that have done despicable, hateful, crazy things to people. And when I speak of it, sometimes I get a little passionate. Sometimes I say some things that I can't take back. It should upset you that I have a true crime channel. It should upset you that people send me PayPal money for me to keep doing true crime, because then you want to attack me and say I'm profiting off tragedy. That should upset you. But the truth is, this is all real life. When you contact my family via social media, that's real life. When I talk about your murdering sibling, that's real life. Your sibling murdered someone, and there are victims that there are family members of that victim that have to live without those people. And so I understand that you didn't ask to be victimized by your sibling being related to a murderer. I understand that. I understand the hurt and the pain that goes on in your life. It doesn't change real life that your sibling murdered someone. And those victims need justice. And the people of those victims need answers. And so if I want to speak of things that your siblings have done and you're upset at me, please, I'm trying to open a dialogue with you, not because I have some sort of ill intention. But when you contact my family and you write some of the things you wrote, I'm going to address it. I'm going to address it. So, because this isn't, it could be just an internet troll. They don't want to tell me. I don't even know what video I did that upset them. That's how crazy this is. They have just said some video, but they haven't explained to me who or what exact video that I have shared that has so victimized them because their sibling is serving prison time for a murder. So when you don't want to be open and honest to me directly and you want to message my family, I'm going to use it as content. And that's not because I'm heartless. It's simply because. So that's some crazy stuff too. I do think they should stay off the internet, though. I do think they should stay off the internet. I ain't going to lie about that. And it's got to be tough. Imagine if you were related to a murderer. Imagine if you're Ted Bundy's brother, Ted Bundy's sister. Imagine if you're Chris Watts's brother or sister. Imagine if you are Patrick Frazee's brother or sister. Imagine if you are Tisha Stout's family. Imagine that. Yeah, so and that was the thing. It's not that I don't understand their pain and their hurt. I want them to understand that people have threatened my family. And when you contact my family and inadvertently try to shame or threaten me, you know how I handle it? I come face first, in person, straight to you. You can show up I've had people who love me show up at my door. I haven't had anybody show up at my door for threats. It's probably a smart thing. If you're crazy and you think you're going to threaten my family and show up at my door, 2 things. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Trust me, it's a bad idea. Now, if you think you're a badass and you're some crazy killer and you're going to show up at my door and you think I'm scared, don't warn me. Please don't threaten me. Please don't send an internet mail, text message, or anything like that. Just show up and do what you're going to do, and let's roll the dice. But if you want to contact, I'm not, by the way, I'm not worried at all. There is zero fear in my life. The fear in my life is fear of failure to my wife. That's about the biggest fears of my life. Fear of any person out there, fear of situations, fear of any of that doesn't exist in my heart, my life, my mind, none of that. Fear of failure to my kids. You know, if I leave this earth and my kids say, my dad loved me and took me fishing whenever I wanted. My dad loved me and spent time with me, came to my dance stuff. My dad loved me and talked to me. You know, that's what I don't want to be accused of when I'm gone. Not spending enough time with my children and my wife. That's the only fear in my life. And so I don't fear threats. I don't fear retaliation. I don't even fear the cops. Like, men with guns have showed up at my door, lied about me, accused me, put me in jail, tried to bring false accusations against me. Those men no longer work in this little town because I'm not scared of lies. I'm actually scared of the truth. Sometimes the truth about me scares me more than any lie about me could ever scare me. So, trying to be real with y'all today on Dad with a Phone. I hope y'all are having a great day. I'm having this is content for me, by the way. When all this stuff happens in my life, I'm like, well, I got something I can talk about on a live video. Why do people attack the killer's family? They didn't have anything to do. Uh-oh. Live with Dad with a Phone.
Hey, D-Wop, it's me, D-Clue Girl. How you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sweetie. Hey, I just wanted you to know I really appreciate your show.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and the other thing I want to say is we all have the right to look at any case we want. And if somebody does something to the public, they have to know that it's going to be out there.
Well, yeah, and
that's
yeah, I tried to, like, I have a feeling I kind of know who this murderer's family is. Like, I kind of know who they are. They kind of hid through their business account. It was stupid. And I was like, why would you bring your business into this? Because it looks like they run a fairly decent business. But yeah, on the flip side, I was like, listen, this is public. If your brother killed someone and I have talked about it, it's because it's public knowledge, right? They killed someone, right? You killed someone of the public. And so, yeah, I understand. Now, on the flip side, I mean, I also feel for that family going, yeah, this is they're related to a killer. And so I understand that someday siblings or children of that murderer are going to watch these videos. And that is real life. That's not fake life. That's real life. And that is simply the life that they have been dealt, just like we've all been dealt situations in our life that we have to deal with. This is a situation that they can either choose to grow through, and they can let the pain and the destruction destroy their life, or they can move on, I guess.
Yeah, I'll tell you, throughout the 15 years that I was working, I will tell you that we never went after anybody's family, and we were always cognizant of the family members, because when you're trying to seek truth and get justice, which is really what it's all about for the victim's family or victim's friends or whatever it may be, you cannot blame a person who doesn't commit the crime for whatever reason. You can't blame them. You can't hate on them, and most of these guys or gals that do these horrific killings, they keep it a secret. It's a secret from their family. It's a secret from their friends. It's a secret from their lovers, their wives, whatever. It's a secret. So it's really unfair, I think, of other people to blame the family and harass them. That is true. And I did have compassion on my cases for suspects' families as well as victims' families, and they all sat in the courtroom together. They all sat in the courtroom together and watched it. So
no, absolutely. I mean, and people have to understand that. And I understand that there are victims on both sides, right? There are victims of the people who were hurt of the crime, and there are people on the side of the, like you said, suspect or whatever, convicted people. This is a convicted person. So this isn't even like a case that this is someone who was convicted of murder. And, and their children are going to watch videos about their dad at some point. And, I just, again, had this person contacted me directly, I probably wouldn't even have been speaking to this, because I understand. But the fact that they tried to contact my family is where, that just pisses me off, because people have contacted my family throughout since I've started a YouTube channel. A lot of times it's just the trolls. And I don't even know if this isn't a troll. This could very easily be a troll, because they haven't really identified themselves or identified what they actually are upset about. They've only said a video that I've done. Well, I've done thousands of videos. So it's hard for me to narrow down. I have an idea, and I probably could narrow it down, but it's just one of those things where, there's two sides to every story. But don't blame me for something your brother did,
Sure. And, the only other thing I would say, and I don't want to take up a whole bunch of your time because you were on a roll, but the only other thing that I would say is that if, for you, this could be a troll representing themselves as this other person, because those business records are public. Name, address, business, how long it's been up, all that stuff is public record. So, it very well could be a troll who's trying to get you in trouble with somebody's family.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I haven't really mentioned anything, and I probably won't mention anything. And what I did was very open and honest. And I've had a long actual text message now with these people. Or Facebook message with these people, and I feel like they are probably being truthful with who they are. I don't necessarily think it's a troll, but I have told them, I was like, you could be a 12-year-old kid writing these messages. I don't know. You should probably just call me. And I gave them my phone number, said, call me, talk to me. Let's at least have this discussion over the phone instead of through text messages. But they don't want to do that. And that's why there is that possibility that they're just a troll. control because they don't want to actually have a conversation. And again, they could still be real and they could just be wanting to get their hurt out and message it
Sure.
or whatever. And I understand that. I don't communicate best through text messages or through Facebook messages. So when people write with me, they sometimes read into my messages differently than what my intention is. But I was fired up last night. Trust me, I wanted to go live last night. When I got this message, I was like, I'll sleep on it. And then, this letter. What do you think about this letter from Patrick Frazee?
I missed it. I asked you to read it again because I missed my notification. But here's the deal: is I want to tell you why I appreciate your channel and your style. Just before I want you to read it again, please. But,
all right, I'll read it again.
Okay, I appreciate your style, and this is why. When I was working, I made sure that everything that was all in my reports was accurate from what I had seen or recorded or photographed or whatever I happen to be doing, collecting evidence. And the reason is because their kids and their grandkids and their aunties and uncles and whoever, they will come back and ask for them. And I want those kids to know that it was fair and balanced. And that's how I see your program, the way you're representing it, is that no matter what, you know that someday they are going to see it, and it is fair and balanced. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Hey, well, thank you for the call, and I'll read that letter right now.
Okay, thanks, babe. Bye.
All right. Oh, shoot. Oh, I missed 2 phone calls. Oh, well, let me read this letter one more time. If you're just joining, we started this with talking about Patrick Frazee. I kind of went on a little rabbit trail, but I'm going to get back to this letter about Patrick Frazee. Patrick Frazee has written a letter to try to garner some sort of support. Now, he's in the middle of an appeals process. And in this letter, he mentions 2 of his closest friends. One of them, I actually kind of have Facebook messaged them today. And the other one, I made a phone call to earlier to try to see if he could give me some information, only because of what Patrick Frazee says in this letter. So let me read this letter to you one more time. Sorry for my reading because I barely can read. Dear friends, I'm reaching out to all of you and asking for your help. I need anyone that is willing to speak out on my behalf. First and foremost, I did not kill Kelsey, nor did I have anything to do whatsoever with her disappearance. I am an innocent man that has been wrongfully accused for crimes that I did not commit. The only thing is, Patrick, I want to tell you, you're not an innocent man accused. You're a man convicted. If any of you are out there, have any doubt at all, I ask you, please. So today when I called, I was just responding to Patrick's plea. He says, I ask you, please, to step back and take a good, solid look at the facts in relationship to the story that is presented. Things do not line up. Still to date, Kelsey is missing, and the truth is yet to be found. Our daughter, Kelsey's family, my family, and everyone else affected deserve to know what really happened. If you care to see what I see about this, please call my friends blank blank at blank or blank blank at blank. They can point out each and everything that I have pointed out to them. This fabricated story couldn't be any further from the truth. If you care to voice what I have pointed out and can take a few minutes to reach out, please call reporter at blank. Strength is in numbers, and I am asking for your help. If any of you would like to contact me directly, please write me at Patrick Frazee, AVCF 2-A 187025, address 12750 Highway 96, Lane 13, Orway, Colorado 81034. That letter went out to an unknown number of people. I received that letter from someone who got that letter directly, sent it to dad with the phone. That letter did not come to me, by the way. Patrick is not writing me asking for help. Now, there are reporters, mainstream reporters, that are doing their quote unquote job and are going to give this murderer a voice to tell the truth. Those reporters are pissed at me that I'm even telling you that he's working on this story. Sorry about that. You should have been a little nicer to me. I might not have said something. I probably would have still said something. Norma, you should call if you donated to, I don't know, but I do know that GoFundMe has some really strict guidelines. So if you feel that you donated to the GoFundMe and then it was misrepresented, then you should contact GoFundMe. Oh, D. Clue just called. That was who was on there, by the way. Yeah, he probably wouldn't ask me to help. So the info I got, yes, they can use typewriters and can even buy them at the canteen. Oh, Chris Barker just said this. So you can use typewriters in prison and you can maybe even buy them. So is he laying a foundation for his appeal? He definitely is looking for help. Now, he's already in the appeals process. We do know that. And so this letter, yes, is definitely probably trying to get people to speak up, say things. He's trying to bring it up in the news media. The news media is working on a story to give Patrick a voice. But Dad with the phone scooped that story this morning. So they ought to get that story out now. I don't know if they did or not. They just changed it. Oh, I don't know. The MFer case. So somebody's asking if there's anything new in the MFer case. All I can tell you is that not Tisha, I was about to say Teabag. MFer, Megan Fermuska, in the Heidi Brizard case is still awaiting court dates that have been postponed because of COVID-19. So they've been pushing court dates back. Same thing with the Teabag case. Teabag is trying to push back stuff. She's putting in letters and motions that the court violated things, different stuff like that. Kelsey doesn't have a voice. Why does Patrick deserve one? Yes. And I want to call out these reporters that are going to do this story. They pleaded with me not to release this information because they want their story to come out. But Patrick Frazee doesn't deserve a voice. He's been convicted in a court of our law. I actually was there and have watched and have gone through and have combed through. I was there the entire time understanding what was happening. And so, no, Patrick doesn't deserve a voice. And any reporter that does a story on Patrick's behalf should be ashamed of themselves. So somebody is saying that somebody started a GoFundMe in the Suzanne Morphew case. And then after that GoFundMe was raised to like 30 G's or something, they changed the beneficiary to their mother. Now that's just despicable, but whatever. I ain't getting involved in that. That Suzanne Morphew case is still a crazy deal. It's a crazy deal. She's missing. There's been no movement. The things that we thought were movement weren't really movement. They were probably distractions. They were probably false tips. They were probably, golly, who knows what's going on with that case. Absolutely, Tammy. Absolutely. No, I understand law enforcement has to do their due diligence. This is the same thing that happened in the Kelsey Barrett case, where law enforcement in my town spent $150,000 of taxpayer money to go search the Midway dump. And so, yes, I understand law enforcement has to do what they have to do based on the tips that are coming in. But, somebody pays for that. And in the Kelsey Barrett case, taxpayer has to pay for a search that didn't result in any findings. Same thing, people's foundation and home was destroyed, or the foundation of their home was destroyed. Who's going to pay for that? Not Barry's not, the cops aren't, Suzanne's not. Suzanne's family's not. Those people have money that they're out because police have to follow up on tips. And so, I think about all that stuff. I think about all the little things, people affected by these cases that people don't necessarily think about. Listen, the homeowners were 100% cooperative with law enforcement. They knew what was happening. They knew that their property was going to be cut up, destroyed, and that they were going to foot the bill. So I don't like begrudge anyone. I'm just saying there are a lot of people affected by things that happen that have nothing to do with the case, right? Just like victims of murder, like siblings of murderers, they are affected by what their siblings have done. Children of murderers will be affected by what their parents have done. And there's nothing I can do to change that. There's nothing I can do, but somewhat Dad with a phone wants to understand those things. I want to understand those things. And so there is so there's a lot of cost associated with searches that people don't think about. What if that was your home, right? Again, homeowners were 100% cooperative, had nothing to do with anything that was going on other than to say, yes, do what you have to do. But those are people's lives that will forever be affected whether or not there was a result of the search or not, and so I like to think about those things, and so it is what it is. So yeah, maybe their insurance will. No, police won't fit the bill. I'm for sure of. There may be some sort of repercussions if they ever find someone, restitution that has to be paid. And a lot of times the state pays that restitution, and then the criminal or the convict has to pay the state back. Yes, there is that. I'm just kind of reading through your questions now. Yeah, so that was what my understanding was for the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe was set up for volunteers that so they could pay for cost of travel, things like that, to help search for Suzanne. Now the GoFundMe, what people are saying has been switched, and Unfortunately, GoFundMe has very strict policies. And so if you donated and you feel like you have been defrauded from some money by giving to this GoFundMe, then you don't contact the family. Just contact GoFundMe directly, and you can file a claim with GoFundMe, and they will either, one, remove the GoFundMe page, or they will refund you your money. So GoFundMe does have some strict guidelines about changing the GoFundMe stuff. And so that Trevor guy that is Suzanne's nephew, or who has claimed to be Suzanne's nephew in some way, from what I understand, he was all voices and all talk, and then now has disappeared and kind of vanished, and has gone dark. He started a GoFundMe, and then the GoFundMe, like the motive or the beneficiary of the GoFundMe changed from people who were going to go search for Suzanne to this guy's mother. And so although there could be some innocent reason why, it's still shady. It's a shady thing. And so I have said this before. I have never once started a GoFundMe. Now, people have claimed that I've started GoFundMes, and people have started GoFundMes and told and said things that I started, but I don't start GoFundMes. I don't do super chats. I don't do donations. I don't try to raise money in the victims' names. I don't try to sell bracelets. I don't try to sell hats. I sold a t-shirt with my face on it, my mugshot that said I went to jail with Patrick Frazee. I did do that. You can say that about me. I did sell a mugshot t-shirt. But that wasn't Patrick's face. It was my face. But I did spend the night in jail with Patrick Frazee. You can watch that video on YouTube. People accuse me of all kinds of shit, but when people start GoFundMes and then switch the beneficiaries, there's some shady stuff going on there. There's some shadiness going on. Cheryl Lynn says, I have that t-shirt. Hey, Amanda, don't think I've forgotten. Don't think I've forgotten. There's a lot around the Mindy Lee case. And yes, there are some things coming out that I haven't shared with you guys yet. There's some things that I haven't shared with the family of Mindy Lee yet. I'm in contact with the family and with friends of Mindy Lee and with people, but there are some things that have come out just recently in the Mindy Lee case that I will be talking about, but I'm not trying to... Again, people think I'm trying to profit off cases. I ain't trying to profit off the Mindy Lee case. I'm trying to reopen the Mindy Lee case. If you haven't heard about Mindy Lee, I implore you to go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook channel or to a Facebook page called A Mother's Journey for Answers. Mindy Lee, The Mother's Journey for Answers. You can find those videos. There's a series of like 10 videos, maybe more, about Mindy Lee on my YouTube channel. This is about a woman who was killed, murdered, and it was staged, and the coroner was incompetent. The cops were incompetent, and the cops could very well be involved. And yes, I have more information about the Mindy Lee case, but I'm trying to reopen that case. And the only way we're going to get that reopened is through, one, a new DA, which there's a new DA coming to town, and two, we're going to have to go after some corrupt cops. And you think I'm scared of that? Come on now. You ain't even been listening. So yes, the Mindy Lee case is not over. All right, guys. You know what? Here, listen. Monica says, I'm still just baffled that Patrick Frazee and his attorneys put on zero defense on his trial. Zero. And they could have blamed it all on Crystal and didn't. How he is begging. I will say this. It was a poor defense. Let's be honest. Because Patrick went to trial and literally they didn't question that murdering blonde at all. And I think she's involved. Listen, when Patrick says there's more to the story, I believe there's more to the story. I believe KK was intimately involved with the murder of Kelsey Barrett. I'll say it again. I believe Crystal Lee Kinney was intimately involved with the murder of Kelsey Barrett, and she stands to get released from jail this year. She will be out of jail this year, and she helped kill Kelsey Barrett. Patrick, I do believe you in that. I do believe there's more to the story. So tell us. Call Dad with the phone up. I'll take your collect call. Patrick Frazee. That's what I'm going to do. I am going to write Patrick Frazee. I'm going to give him my cell phone number, and I'm going to say, Patrick, if you want your voice to actually be heard, don't call the reporters who are going to slant it. Don't call Dad with a phone and tell us how you and KK, or if you want to blame KK, tell me about how KK killed Kelsey. You had nothing to do with it. Like when you built that fire and when you had those kids build that fire. When you got that trunk, that black trunk and you put Kelsey in that black trunk and you drove out with your daughter and you went to Walmart. Tell us about Crystal. Tell us what Crystal did. Don't sit here and try to play total innocent. But if you want to take KK down with you, bro, I'm with you. I'm with you. Spill the beans on KK, and maybe we can keep her in jail. You're never getting out of jail, by the way. You think you can appeal when you barely put up a defense? Come on. Come on. For real, bro? I hope they give you a laptop one day. I hope you get to watch Dad with the phone one day. Because I tried. I even told you. I told you the last day of court. I said, bro, you have got to say something about KK or they are going to put you in jail forever and throw away the key. If you would have took the stand and you would have said, this is what she did. This is how she did it. They would have thrown your case out. Now you want to come on and you want to try to manipulate some reporters that want some clicks and views. You want to try to manipulate your friends into speaking up for you? Come on, bro. Come on. Thanks for giving me content, Patrick. My name's Michael. You've been watching Dad with a Phone. Hey, if you want to follow me on anywhere, you should find me at the links at the bottom of your screen. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. If you're new to Dad with a Phone and you think I'm despicable, write me a message and tell me. I love the positive messages, but, you know, a man's got to be put in check every once in a while. So getting messages telling me how despicable I am doesn't hurt me. It helps me keep my heart in check. What else can I tell you? If you want to know more about Mindy Lee's case, go to my YouTube and Google Mindy Lee Mother's Journeys for answer. If you want to know more about the Patrick Frazee case, go to my YouTube and pretty much watch any video done between Thanksgiving of 2018 all the way through. You'll see a lot of videos about the Patrick Frazee case, the Kelsey Barrett murder case. Kelsey was killed just down the street from me in a town that I've lived in for almost 15 years. And so go do whatever you want to do. Go find out about those cases. And you can see more. We hope to have some of those people on our lives that were mentioned in the letter. Again, we made a phone call to one of the guys to try to get some information. We've also messaged one of the other ones, and we have actually spoken via Twitter with the reporter. I just spit on you guys. We've spoken via Twitter with the reporter who's doing a story to give Patrick a voice. They're not very happy with me. But if you think I care what the media thinks about me, please. No, those are the last people I care that think about me. Although I've made some friends with some of the media, and hopefully some of the media is going to come on my show later this week. But in another case, other than that, you know, I'm just a dad with a phone. Really, really. Just a dad with a phone in my living room with my own little television show. This is the world we live in. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.